Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon. Here's Fabio Rosa from Tago. We're going to start our webinar today to talk about how to create and run script with Tago Analysis. So today what we're going to cover will be done basically by myself and by Roberto. I'm Fabio Rosa, the co-founder of TagoIO, and Roberto Kanoff is our software developer. He's going to also present, focus on the tools itself. So today, basically, we are going to be recording this presentation, so you can watch it later. And for those who could not make it, but register, also going to receive the link later. If you have any question or comment during the presentation, please feel free to go to the chat and make your comments. We are going to try to reply as soon as possible during the presentation, or at least during the Q&A section at the end of the presentation. The agenda for today is really focused around the analysis. So we are going to do first, in a couple of minutes, an overview about Tago, show the main functionality of the system. Then I'm going to focus on the analysis. We're going to do an introduction. Then I'm going to show practical example so you can really not only see, but also can replicate the examples that I'm going to show here, how to run the scripts and use the editor in different examples. Then at the end, Roberto is going to put everything together and show how to build a complete solution for IoT using the scripts with the dashboards and connected sensors and so on. And at the end, we're going to have about 10 minutes for Q&A to cover the topics. So very briefly, first I want to share what are the key components of Tago. So basically, we have 5 components that is very important for you to understand so you can create your solution. First of all, what you want to do here is collect the information from the sensor, bring this to Tago so that the data can be available for the business. So whatever solution you have in mind, whatever you need, you are able to do with this component. Then you are also able to get the data from the sensors that can be collected directly from the sensor or from any database that you have access, bring it to Tago, send it to the business, and from the business you can apply some rules and send the information back to the sensors. Here are first device management, device and account management. With Tago, we are able to create the tokens for authorizations. You are able to manage the device, like add the devices. You can activate or deactivate the device, everything inside of Tago. Then, when the data comes from the sensor and you have authorization for the sensor, this data comes from our database. Our database is basically organized in buckets. So all the buckets are created inside the Tago in the cloud in your account. If you need to bring this to your local storage system, you can do it. You have APIs for that. The part that we're going to talk today is related to the analysis. So analysis is where you're going to be able to bring information, process in real time. We're going to talk more about that, but basically that's where you see most of the customers really bring more value to their final customers because they process the data, they do things much more intelligent. The other part of the tab is the dashboards. With the dashboard that you have, you can create solutions that will give really the visual for your customers. And this visual you can be shown in the browser or in the mobile app. And the last part is the integration that you can do with other systems. Some systems are already done, like SMS, email, or Microsoft Flow is already integrated with Tago. But if there is anything else that you need to do, for example, you need to integrate with SAP, your local ERP system, you can do it using our integration. Tago has a lot of features that are put together and you can use depending of the solution that you want to build. For example, we have, of course, the basic things like connect the device, create a dashboard, share, but also have a backup system. So if you need to backup your data online and download this later, you can do it. You can also add more developers to your account or more managers to manage your account in your company or in your application. You have the audit log and others. So if you go to the website in the pricing section, you should be able to see all the features that you have available based on the plan that you selected. We have created several applications so far with Tago, and the more interesting that a lot of those applications are really not designed by Tago, are designed by our partners, by our customers, by our integrators. So today there are applications in energy, equipment, agriculture, cold chain management, and a lot of other things that is possible because you have a really modular system that you can use to build your application. So Tago is really great to build the concept and also to scale this concept. Okay, you don't need to go after other tools when you want to bring your solution to production. There are several features, but I think what make really Tago different is the way all these features are put together. So as I said before, if you see Tago from the admin, let's say the portal perspective, you can have all the features to manage the users. You also can have add a section to deliver your solution, what we call explore. Also, you can retain your data. You can define how long you're going to keep your data. Let's say that you are storing the data every second, but you don't need this data to be there forever. So you just need it to keep for, let's say, 1 week. So you can go and set and say, hey, keep the data just for 1 week. Also, you can share your dashboard privately or publicly. And here's the part I'm going to talk more today in details, the integration. Okay, how you integrate this with other systems, how you use APIs. Basically is using the analysis that we're going to cover today. So when you build application, we need to have several features, right? For example, if you see here on the left, that is a typical application that our customers design with Tago. They are able to drag and drop the widgets, like this one here, for example. They put here the table, the image, the video, and here in this other application, they have the heat map. You can simply get this widget and connect to the sensors or the variables that come from the sensor. However, if you want to have something intelligent, like I want to change the color of the row when something happens, or I want to increase these bubbles here, depend on how long a customer is located in certain location or anything. So for this, you need the scripts. Okay, so the script is important because then you can pre-process your data and make available to your dashboard. Also, we know that Tago has the share capability. It's very simple. You can build a dashboard. You can go in your browser or in the mobile app and say, and click there and say, I want to share my dashboard with someone for 1 hour. And that person is going to receive an email and they follow you for 1 hour. Okay, so that's nice. However, let's say that you want to automate your process. You want to do something with a lot of customers. Let's say that you have 1,000 customers and you want to generate the dashboard automatically for them. You can do it by simply create script for that. Other advantage of using script is that you really can go beyond and expand your solution. For example, with Tago, you can send the data directly to your account by using the HTTP APIs, basically JSON methods, or MQTT, that's a protocol used by light devices, or receive data from Microsoft Flow, spreadsheet, and others. So this data sometimes comes to Tago in a different format. So you can process this data and make sure it will communicate back to your application. If you want, that's normally the case of our customers. If you need to generate a report, let's say every day, 7 a.m., send a report with all the problems that I have it, with all the devices that has a low battery and so on, you can create a script for that. Other thing that you can do, for example, is generate a KML map file with the location, with the pins. We have a library for that. If you are not able to find this documentation, feel free to contact us and we will explain how that works. When you go to Tago, you are able to sign up for free. For this, I just want to make sure you understand that the Tago is one platform with two options. One is for you that want to design something, want to develop the solution. The other one is the final user. For example, if you are design a solution that a driver or farmer is going to use it, they are going to use the same as app or browse as you are doing, but you should subscribe to Tago and set this option here that says, I am a developer. When you do that, you receive first here the word developer with more features like devices, bucket, analysis, and action. If the final users that is not a developer want to use your solution later, he's not going to use this selection. So he's not going to see any of this. So it'll be very simple for him. In case you miss that and you didn't select here, you go to Tago. You're still able to change your profile by going in your account, go to my account, and come here and just select I am a developer. When you do that, you'll be able to see again how the application to design your solution. Okay. So before pass the word here for Roberto, let me tell you about analysis. Okay, then he's gonna start to dig on the analysis part in a very practical way. So first, analysis is one way to create scripts that will manipulate your data in real time. So that means that all the data that come into your bucket when your device sends the data can be processed automatically. For example, you can use this to convert the data from one format to another one. You are able to generate reports, generate notification, or for example, generate a group of emails. Okay, Roberto will show later that we have the actions. There you can get one SMS or one email to someone when something happens. But what about if you have, let's say, 500 users and you want to send an email to all of them? You can send a group email in the analysis. Also, here is where we are going to use the analysis to integrate with other systems. For example, you can integrate with Google Sheets, collect information from there. If you are, for example, want to upload 1,000 devices from a spreadsheet, you can do this using the analysis. Or if you need to integrate with your CRM system, also you can do this here. Also, if you need to integrate your system with a weather forecast, or if your sensor is not connected directly with Tago, you also can get the data from an external database. That happens sometimes. And of course, the last thing is that you can do small things that is like convert the data and so on, but also you can do very complex things like linear regression, machine learning, image processing capability inside of a Tago using the analysis. Now let me pass here the control to Roberto. He's gonna start to give you details about the analysis.
Software developer at Tago. Today I'm going to show you the analysis and how to create an analysis. And we are going to see how an analysis can work in an application, in a practical application. So first of all, let me explain to you this diagram. This is how the analysis works inside Tago. So if you follow my cursor over here, Here you have the sensor or the API or the widget form. These are means of posting the data at Tago. So if you want to post data to Tago, you'll have one of these options to do that. And if you follow the line over here, this line, let's say that this is the data. The data goes to the buckets. So we store your data on buckets, and it also goes to the triggers to run actions and analysis. So let's say you post data to Tago. So this data is saved in a bucket, and it triggers an action. And this action can run an analysis. This analysis is a script that you can write at Tago, and you can do basically anything in this analysis. For example, you SMS, as Fabio said, or you can send emails, or you can send a personalized email with a lot of data from a lot of devices. You can post to another endpoint, to another HTTP endpoint, or you can integrate with CRM, or you can process data from other devices, or go through another. How can I say this? You can go to more integrations if you want to use other platforms. You can do these two analysis. And also another way to call the analysis are scheduling. We have analysis that run on timer. So you might have an analysis that runs when some data comes to Tago, or let's say on a schedule. Okay, and here we can see these two pictures. These are the editor. We have a script editor built in our platform, and we have some logs. They are called audit logs, and then I'll show these logs in the end of the presentation. Okay, now let me show these on my computer. I'm going to share my screen over here. Okay, so this is a dashboard example. For this example, this is a Sigfox data format. What does this do? So we have a device, a Sigfox device, that sends this raw format over here. So basically, the device sends this data to a variable called data, and this is the schematics for this data. For example, the first 2 bytes are the temperature, the next 2 are pressure, then photo, then X, Y, and Z for accelerometer. So what Tago does, Tago takes this data and creates new variables. For example, here we have temperature that is now at 40.96, and we have pressure, and we have photo, and the X, Y, and Z accelerometer that I'm not showing you here right now. Okay, so let's see. Now I'm going to show you how Tago does this conversion. Okay, let's go to the analysis. So I'll click here, analysis. Here we have an analysis called Sigfox parse. This is an example of our analysis. You guys can use this. So here, the name of the analysis is Sigfox parse. Then, as I said, we can run analysis on timers, on schedule. So right now I have my timer disabled because I want this analysis to run every time the device posts data. And then we don't have any description, and run this script from. We want to run this at Tago, but you can also run this on your servers or on your computers. And this is the analysis token to run on your computer. And I'll get back to this part later. So here we have our script editor. You can see the script of the analysis. Let me just hide something and go full screen over here. I'm just going to show you how these analyses work. Let me just scroll down, wait a second. Okay, this analysis, as I said before, it gets that data, that raw payload from the Sigfox device, and creates the variables. For example, here we extract the second and the third byte for pressure, for temperature, the first two, for the photo, the next ones, and we do some calculations on this. And then after we calculate these values, here we have a device, and this device inserts these values in new variables. So here we have a variable called temperature, we have a variable called pressure, photo, X, Y, and Z accelerometer. Okay, and then every time the device sends data, we do this conversion and post the new data. Also, we have some environment variables over here because we need an account token to get that device to send data. And to do these environment variables, you can using this you can pass some parameters to your analysis. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how this analysis is triggered, because as I said before, here on general information, we don't run this analysis on a timer, so we have a timer disabled over here. So what triggers this analysis is an action. Go to the action. Okay, I think, yeah. Okay. Here we have a few actions, in fact, but I have an action called Sigfox parse. This action, it takes the data from Tago and posts this and runs the analysis with this. Let me just wait for the screen to update. Okay. So for the action name, we have here Sigfox parse, and what does this action do? It runs an analysis, but we can also push notifications, send emails, send SMS, publish to MQTT, and publish the post data to another endpoint. For this example, this runs an analysis. And what analysis does it run? It runs the Sigfox parse, as I showed you before. Now, this analysis needs a trigger. What is a trigger? It's something that happens to a variable at Tago that triggers this action. For this action, we have a trigger on our variable called data, and here from the device called Sigfox device. So the condition is any. So anytime the device called Sigfox device sends anything to the variable data, this is triggered, and it triggers the analysis. And you could also create some criteria over here. For example, if you want your value to be equal to something or different from something, and you can work with these actions. So let me go back to the dashboard over here. Now, Fabio has this data on his account, so he's probably gonna post data on this account, and this is going to change. Probably you saw that. So let me just explain to you a quick recap on how it works. So the device sends data to this variable called data, and the data contains this payload called temperature, pressure, photo, and etc. And then this triggers our action, and our action triggers our analysis. And the analysis creates the new variables called temperature, pressure, and photo. So basically, every time the device sends data, we process this data. Okay. Now we're going to process the next data. For example, we had this data that we processed now, and now let's say that we want to process the data that is parsed from this device. Let's say that we want to work with the temperature or the pressure or the fluid. For this example, let's work with the temperature. Let's say that you need to create a variable with the average value of the temperature. To do that, we can create a new analysis. Let's go to analysis again. And I'll create a new one. And I'll call this analysis AVD for for average. Okay, and for this analysis, let's say that this runs on an interval, because we already have the data over there. Let's say that we run this on a daily. So each day this script will run. And from where we are going to run at Tago, but we can also run an external. Let me just save this analysis. Okay, so if you want to run an analysis on your computer, or if you don't want to run an analysis in Node.js, because we only support Node.js at the moment, you can use any programming language you want. You just need to run this analysis externally. You need a server to run them. So by using this access token, this is the link from your analysis in your computer. So you can look for our examples and videos that we have on how to run analysis externally, and then you'll see that you use this token to run analysis on your computer. So basically, you can run this analysis on any programming language that you need. So for this example, we are going to run at Tago. So let's go to the script over here. I'm going to show you a little bit more about the editor. So for example, here you can load the script from your computer. So you can just click here and load any script. Languages currently, as I said, we only support Node.js, but we are going to support Python and Java in the future. And we have a few examples over here. Let's if you don't want to start from zero, if you want to have an example to start coding your script, you can choose one of these. In fact, the one that we are using right now for the data conversion to the Sigfox data conversion is this one. So Sigfox Xgate. This is the example. This is the exact example. I didn't change anything. Let me choose here the hello world, and let me save here. So we have this example over here. This is the analysis. This is the token, as I showed you before. If you want to run this analysis outside Tago on your computer, you need to add your token over here. For this example, we will not use it because it will run on Tago. And let me run this. I'll show you that we have a console over here. So let me run the analysis. Okay, so you can see that we have context.log, hello world, and then our context and scope. So we can see here, hello world, the scope, and the context. Okay, and you can always choose the theme over here if you want to change the minimap, if you want to hide it, or if you want to go full screen to edit your scripts. Okay. So now, one more thing that I need to show you before we go on is the environment variable. As I talked before, this is a way to send data to your analysis, to your scripts. So we are going to use this for this example. Now, as I told before, we are going to work with the temperature variable. So we already have a variable called temperature. So let me see here. We are going to use this third example called minimum, maximum, and average. Just okay. Just open this again. Okay. So this example, what it does is it takes the variable temperature from your device, and it will get the previous day, the 1 day of data from this variable, and it will calculate the minimum, the maximum, and the average, and create a new variable for each one. So to do this, to work with this example, let me just go to the beginning, and I will read the instructions for you over here. So to run this analysis, you need to add a device token to the environment variables. And to do that, we need to go to the device and copy the token. So let me just save this to save my script. And I will take a device token from our Sigfox device. So I will go here to device. Okay. And here device, I will select our device called Sigfox. Then I will go to the second tab called token. and then I will copy the token. Just click here in this option to copy it. Okay, now I'll go back to the analysis. And we have our analysis called AVG for average. And let's go to the environment variables. Here in the environment variables, I need to add device token and paste the token and save. Okay, so now let's go back to the script. Here on my console, I have the previous logs because it's saved. This is not just a real-time log, it's real-time and it saves on our platform. And then let me just run this analysis. So I click here, run. Now you can say the analysis has started and the temperature maximum was updated and the minimum and the average was updated. So now I have 3 new variables from on my device called Sigfox device. Let's go back to the dashboard over here. So now we have temperature, pressure, photo, and we also have 3 new variables, as I said. Let me just add a new widget to show it. Here you have a lot of options. So I will just add a display just to show the last value of the variables. And this display is going to show data from the device called Sigfox device. And the variable will be temperature average, temperature maximum, and temperature minimum. Okay, let me just save it here. And by the way, you can resize widgets, you can edit. Let me just add a number format over here. Same. Okay. So you can move things around over here if you want to just change the order or if you don't like the way it works, you can personalize your dashboard. Okay. Now let's just recap again the process that ran over here. So our device sent this data. This data was processed by Tago. It ran the action that ran the analysis that created the variable called pressure, temperature, and photo. Let me just go back to the way it was. And then we created a new analysis that takes data from 1 day. By the way, if you want to change that 1 day, you just go to the script and change. And when I run that analysis, when it runs every day, now it will save the average temperature over here, the minimum, maximum, and average. Let's say if you want a minimum, maximum, and average for 10 minutes, you can just go there to the script, to the example, change the script and save. You can do any change you want up there. Okay, now this is just a very simple example of parsing data from a device. But let's say if you want to choose more complex things. Let's say if you have statistics to run on your data, or linear regression, something like that, or even machine learning, we support that. So if you want to export your data to a CSV file, or if you want to send an email, it's possible. Anything is possible by the analysis because you can run your own scripts. So you can create a whole application on top of this, or you can just create a simple conversion as I showed you right now. Now, let me just show you one other feature that we have, that is the audit logs. To go to the audit logs, you can click on your name over here. So here we have the options. My account, where you can change your name, change the, if you are a developer or not, because if you want to show your application as an end user, you can just go there and change. You have your billing information if you want to change your data plan or see what are you being charging for and everything. And then we have the audit log. So the audit log is basically the log of everything that happens at Tago. So you don't need to create logs to do that because Tago already offers you that. So let me click here, audit log. Here on audit log, you have some options. For example, you can filter your data. Let's see, you can just type any filter you want. over here. Just TagoIO will search this, and you can choose some data interval over here. For example, I want the logs for the last hour, and then you can change the time zone. Of course, if you work on a team that people from different parts of the world work, so it's easy to just change the time zone over here and say that you want, for example, from to one day to another on that time zone. Or you can select the section to show. For example, let's search for the logs on our analysis. Here we have some sections, for example, account, analysis, actions, buckets, dashboards, and devices. Let's select the analysis section. And here in the analysis section, we have a subsection called analysis, where you can choose the exact analysis that you want. So let's say that I want to search the Sigfox parse over here, and then I can click here, update, and you can see that it's been run a few times in the last. I thought it was hour over here, but let me just update. Yeah, it's been run a few times in the last hour, and you can click here. For example, this data. This is just the we need data on actual data from your device. You just have the message that this was run. This is very useful if you want to debug an application. For example, one of your devices is not sending data anymore. If you want to see, oh, is this device sending data? Is the data coming to Tago, or is it something on the device side? So you can go here to your device, look for your device, and search to see if you have logs. The same thing for triggers and analysis. So if your variables if your analysis stopped working, you can see if the trigger is triggering, and etc. So you can always download your result over here. You can click this button to download it. Okay. Now let me go back to the analysis over here. Okay. If you want to create or integrate or do anything with analysis, you can follow our documentation. So here we have a question mark to our documentation. So if you type analysis over here, you can see our analysis overview. Let me just click here. And then this is the documentation of the analysis. And before I go to the documentation itself, let me just show you another feature that's very, very important. Let me just take this raw data over here. If you don't have your device in hand, or if your device only sends data once a day, that is very common for a Sigfox device, and you need to test your application, you can use our device emulator as well. So to use our emulator, let's go to the device over here. And here you have the device emulator on top. Click here. Okay. Here we have some variables, our JSON object that we call JSON object. And these are the fields that Tago expects your JSON to have. So your JSON must have the temperature, the value. In this case, the value is temperature. I will change it to data because data is what we are expecting. And here, let me just paste what I copied. Let's say that I want to send here 12, and I will select the device called Sigfox device and send this data. So this is going to simulate your device data and send data to Tago. Let me go back to the analysis over here. So now you can see that I sent 12 over here, and the temperature went to 46.08. And that's very, very handful if you just need to test something and you don't have your device in hand. You don't need to go to our API and see how it works to post data. You just go there and post it. Okay, now let's go back to the documentation over here. So as I was saying, we have an analysis covered for the documentation over here. So let me go to the documentation itself. Okay, so here we have a video on how to work with analysis. We have a few sections of the analysis explaining how it runs, what you can do, and we also have a few more documentation over here. For example, we have a documentation on our editor. This is a new feature that Tago has. So you can go to the documentation over here if you have any questions, if you have any doubts, in fact. And you can just type anything here. For example, if you want to say, how do I send data? You just type data or sending data, and you have here getting data, data backup, data setting data. Okay, and let me go now to the website. Okay, so this is our website. If you want to, if you want to get started or create your account, you can create. You can have a free plan to create your applications. Here, you just click Get Started. As Fabio showed you, you can choose to be a developer over there, and just check the developer option. And let me show you a few resources that we have here at the website. Let me go to Resources and Developers over here. In Developers, we have our entire documentation. So if you need if you have any questions or doubts on how it works, go to our documentation and you can find it there. We have the SDKs. For example, now we have a Node.js SDK and a Java SDK. We have our public repositories, our community. We have a Slack community channel. You can see our changelog. For example, this is the backend changelog, so you can see all our changes over here. And you can see our system status report. And one very important thing in here is the videos on the resources section. So here we have a lot of videos showing how to do stuff and demo. So we have 4 sections here. Demo is the ideas that you can make. So we have two demos if you prefer to go there and watch these videos. And then we have training. Training is are a little longer videos with that show you how to do stuff. For example, introduction to Tago, how to work with buckets, working with analysis, how to do backups and everything. Now, let me just point to this video over here on running scripts on your own servers. So if you want to, if you are interested in running scripts on your computer, this is very useful to debug applications as well. If you don't want to debug them at Tago, you can just watch this video and see how we do to run scripts. And here we have the section webinar, where we have our previous webinars, and this webinar will be posted here as well. And we have our section how to. How to are very short videos, less than a minute, or some are 20 seconds, on how to do simple things. For example, how to create dashboard tabs, how to enable backup on a bucket. So you just go there and watch a 20 or 30 seconds video on how to do that. Okay, so that was all that I had to show. I will get back to Fabio. I think here we are going to do a Q&A because people are asking the questions already. So, Fabio.
Thank you, Roberto. Yeah, very, very nice. I think it gave a very good idea about how to work with analysis, because that can be, of course, a little bit more complex, but so powerful that really helps to generate a lot of value for the overall application. Roberto, you just can see maybe the next slide here. Okay, I can do that. Okay, so we are open for Q&A now. If you have a question, please just type, and we'll do our best here to answer a question. So one question here, Roberto, for sure you're the best guy to answer, is from John. Is related to the libraries. Okay, what's available? How can we include the package? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, of course. Yes, you can use any libraries you want to run these scripts, but to run at Tago, you need to use one of our libraries called Tago Builder. For example, let's say we do support a few libraries by ourselves. For example, Moment, Axios, and Tago, of course. And we have 6 or 7 that we support. I don't remember exactly, but we have them on our documentation. But if you want to use any library that you need, you just need to import it normally. Just you don't need to change anything, but then you go to your to our Tago builder and you run a script. This builder will import all your libraries in your file, and then you can update your file to Tago. It's a very simple thing to do. I'll probably record a video on how to do that in the future and put that on our website. But it's very simple.
Mm-hmm. Roberto, I think it'd be also good if you could share again the website.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, the website.
Also, there is an option to open the ticket, basically. If you go to our website, contact us, then in the drop-down option, there is one for technical support. People are using this a lot. So if you go to technical support, you basically is able to make any question. And I really encourage you to make a question like, hey, I don't see the solution. Do you have it? Because we have a lot of libraries that we're able to share. So feel free to ask us at any time.
Okay, just commenting on John, he asked again about the package. This is a normal that we are on NPM. So if you go there, you can search Tago Builder, as Felipe said. You just install Tago Builder, and then you can run Tago Builder, the name of your file, and it will include everything that you use. If you use external JSON files or external JS files, it will include everything.
Okay. Any other question or comment? Okay, other thing that I want to reinforce is that we continue doing new releases in the next weeks. We are creating new widgets to deal with images. That to be much better to create solution. Please keep an eye on our news, because also we are gonna do a release soon to make more public and clear announcement about machine learning. As Roberto mentioned before, we already have machine learning working in solutions with customers. We want to put this more clear to anyone to use it. By now, you simply can contact us, and we'll be able to explain how we can build a solution for machine learning. We do believe that's a good complement to IoT. Also, we are working with CRM to integrate with the sales software. So that's other area that the Tago is investing, because again, bring information on devices to take actions in real time to boost sales is really a way to go, according to what we have seen from our customers. Okay, so I really appreciate everyone who could attend this meeting. I really hope that was a helpful meeting, because we are really want to bring more information so you can build better and faster with Tago. We will make this video available pretty soon, and you should be able to receive an email with the notes, so feel free to share or contact us if you have any questions. So thank you very much and have a great day.